Welcome back, students. Let's continue our discussion on absolute values and absolute value function. What is the concept of absolute value? You know that from your previous sections, absolute value of x is equal to x if x is greater than or equal to 0 and negative x if x is less than 0, which means, for example, absolute value of, because 6 is greater than 0, absolute value of x is equal to x if x is greater than or equal to 0. Absolute value of x is equal to negative x if x is less than 0, which means, for example, what is the absolute value of 6? It is 6 because 6 is greater than 0. What is absolute value of minus 6? It is minus of minus 6, okay, which is 6 because this minus 6 is less than 0, okay. So absolute value of a number is itself if that number is positive. Absolute value of a number is negative of itself if that number is negative. So we'll discuss this using example. What is absolute value function? Absolute value function is a function that can be written in the form of absolute value in this form. A function that can be written in the form of f of x is equal to, this is absolute value x. The graph is like this, okay? So what is the domain of absolute value of x? What is the range? You know that the domain of absolute value of x is the set of all real numbers. This is the domain because in absolute value we can insert any negative or positive number. About the range is always positive or 0, okay, because the absolute value of a number is either 0 or positive, so the range is always greater than or equal to 0. So the graph is this one, the domain is all real number, and the range is y is greater than or equal to 0. So let's illustrate our discussion on this concept. Which one of the following is equal to f of x is equal to the square root of x plus 4 the whole squared? This means you know that f of x is equal to the square root of x squared is absolute value of x. This is the basic definition of absolute value, because the absolute value, the square root of x squared cannot be x, okay? The square root of x squared is absolute value of x. Why? Because the square root of a number is always positive. For example, what is the square root of, for example, negative 6 squared? When you say x, negative and positive መሆን ትችላለህ። ስለዚህ አሁን ይሄንን x squared, the square root of x squared x ብዬ ያወጣሁት ማለት the square root of negative 6 squared ንም negative 6 ብዬ ያወጣሁት ማለት but negative 6 squared ማለት ይሄ 36 ነው፣ 6 መሆን ሲገባው ማለት። ስለዚህ the square root of x squared absolute value of x ነው። Based on this definition, the square root of x plus 4 the whole squared means absolute value of x plus 4. Like this. The square root of something squared is simply absolute value of something. You should understand this idea. So the answer of this question is C, f of x equal to absolute value of x plus 4.